All right, let us talk about the pricing of forward contracts. Another very, very interesting topic from CFA level 1. Of course, as always, we're going to use local examples from the UAE to discuss this. Now, first, let's understand what is a derivative contract or what are derivative contracts. And let's take a simple example. Let's say you have a villa in Palm Jumeirah, right? And you're originally from Abu Dhabi, right? You've been living in Dubai maybe for the past 1 year because your job was in Dubai, and now you're moving back to Abu Dhabi at the end of this year. So whoever you have the deal with to sell them the villa, you tell them, listen, I'm going to give you the villa after a year because I'm going to live here for this year. And after the year, I'll give you the villa, and then you can give me the payment after 1 year as well. So maybe you're locking the price right now. Let's say 5 million dirhams. You lock the price today. The price is locked that you will receive and this person will pay. But the payment will be done after 1 year, and the delivery or the handover will also be done after 1 year. Now, during this time, let's say by the end of 2024, this is, let's say, January 2024 and December 2024, the price of a villa has gone to 6 million dirhams in Palm Jumeirah. Now, what will happen is that this person will be kind of happy. Why? Because the price was locked, right? So the payment they will make to you will only be for 5 million. And you might be happy or sad, depends. You made the deal, so you were expecting 5 million. Khalas, that's okay. I mean, it's not a problem. But this person might be really happy because they locked in a price of 5, and now they're getting something which is worth 6 million now in the market, and they're only paying 5 million for it. So we call this party the long party, which is buying the asset. We call this party, which is you in this example, the short party, which is selling the asset. And this contract that you had among the two of you is called a derivative contract because it derives or gets its value from an underlying asset. And here, obviously, the underlying asset in our example is the villa in Palm Jumeirah. So a derivative contract is any piece of paper which you're signing between two parties which is related to an underlying asset. And if that underlying asset goes up in value, the long party makes money. And if the underlying asset goes down in value, well, the short party is happy because let's say if this went to 4 million, you will be happy that you locked in the sale at 5, right? And this might be very practical as well. Maybe you feel the market has peaked and you want to lock in your selling price right now, but you still need to live in the villa for another year. So you lock in your selling price, and then you're not worried that the market might crash because you've locked in your selling price, and then you live comfortably for a year, and then you sell it and you go back. So this is an example of a derivative contract. Now I'm going to talk about a very specific type of derivative contract, which is a forward contract. And we will take the example of ADNOC and Emirates, right? Let's say Emirates Airlines is worried that oil price might go up. So it wants to buy oil from ADNOC, but it doesn't want to buy it right now. It already has oil for this year. It wants to buy it for next year. So let's say it's selling tickets for 2025 from now because people like to plan their vacations in advance. So there are people who are approaching Emirates Airlines and saying, hey, what is the price for a ticket to New York from Dubai from in 2025? And they're booking those tickets. So Emirates Airline needs to calculate its cost for that flight. And to be able to calculate its cost for that flight, they need to know what the oil price is going to be next year. But they don't know what it will be next year. But they do know what it is right now. Let's say it's $80 a barrel right now. They can lock this price with ADNOC that I will pay you after a year. You can give me the oil after a year. But please tell me, what is the price you will charge me so that I can use it for my budgeting and costing process, and I can then do the pricing of my tickets for next year. So how do you think ADNOC is going to calculate this price? That is what we're going to learn, which is pricing of a forward contract. Now, the first thing ADNOC will do is ADNOC will say, okay, right now the spot price, the spot, which means on the spot transaction, if you were to buy a barrel of oil from me right now, it's $80 a barrel. But you want me to hold this for you for a year. So I'm going to charge you a storage cost, right? Plus, and let's say that's $1 per barrel. Plus Emirates Airline, you are not paying me now, you're going to pay me, let's say, after 1 year, right? So I want to charge you the interest as well, right? The interest cost as well. So let's say the interest is 5%. So instead of paying me $80 right now, you're saying you're going to pay me after 1 year. So I'm going to miss out on that 5% time value of money. So you need to give me not only 80 multiplied by 105. And what is 105 again? It is 1 plus the interest rate, right? And if it is for 1 year, then of course we're writing 1 over here. And this is something we've discussed in the time value of money video, because your present value is going to be converted to the future value. This is the future value we're calculating, which is basically your present value multiplied by 1 plus r to the power of 1. And if you don't remember that, please watch the time value of money video, which we just, it's right above this video, right? The first one. So this plus the storage cost, right, which is, let's say, $1 per barrel, is what ADNOC is going to want to get paid from Emirates Airline. However, Emirates Airline will say, hey, just one point, that all this year you're going to get to keep that barrel of oil in your inventory, right? You're going to get to keep that barrel of oil in your inventory, and maybe some other customer comes along. Let's say Etihad Airline needs oil, right? And you can then give them my barrel of oil, and then you could make another one and then replace it with that. So there is a convenience benefit for you. There is a convenience benefit for you of having this barrel of oil in your inventory. So can you give me a discount, right, on the price, the forward contract price, because this is a benefit that you're getting in terms of the convenience. And let's say that convenience benefit is calculated to be half a cent, right? So the formula for the forward price is basically, what we are doing is we're taking the spot price, we're loading it with 1 plus the interest rate to the power of t, depending on whether it's 1 year or 2 year. We're adding something called storage cost, because ADNOC is going to store it for Emirates. And then we're going to minus something called convenience yield, because that is a benefit ADNOC is getting, and they should pass on that benefit to Emirates Airline as lower forward price, right? So this is how the forward contract pricing is done. Another example, this, by the way, was an example of a physical forward contract pricing where we talked about a barrel of oil, right? So in terms of a physical quantity, we are looking at the forward price being equal to the spot price multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate to the power of t, and you're adding the storage cost, right? And you're minusing the convenience yield. If you want to do this for a financial asset, and let's take the example of, let's say, Fab and Adia, right? Now, Fab wants to buy, let's say, the stock of Tesla. So Adia has Tesla stocks, and this is the financial asset, the stock in terms of the shares of Tesla. Let's say they have 1 million shares, right, that they want to sell. Fab wants to buy it, but Fab doesn't want to buy it right now, in terms of they don't want to pay cash for it. They're saying we will pay cash after a year. So we want to know the forward price. Now, Adia will say, sure, I'll tell you the forward price. Let's say the spot price of Tesla is $100 per share. Obviously, if Adia is going to wait for Fab to make the payment. It's going to load it up with interest, just like ADNOC was doing. Here, this is the seller and this is the buyer, right? The sides have been switched. Before, ADNOC was the seller and we had written it over here. So now it's just the seller is on the right and the buyer is on the left. Anyways, the point is RDI will say, okay, this is the spot price right now and you're not paying me for 1 year. So you have to obviously pay me the time value for that, which is 5% is the interest rate. So I'll take the spot price, I'll multiply it with 1 plus R. Also, during this time, if there is any storage cost that I have to pay for storing this stock for you, I will add that as a cost as well. Now, when we talk about financial assets, storage cost is not really that big a thing because the custody charges are almost negligible. Rather, sometimes you might even get a benefit of having that with you. But storage cost is usually ignored in these type of questions. But the convenience yield, which we were subtracting in the case of oil, that, oh, you're having that oil in your inventory, so it's convenient for you. Now for RDR, because they're having that Tesla stock, there is a major thing that is a benefit, because if you're having the stock, you get something called dividend on it, right? So that dividend is very, very important, because that has to be subtracted from the forward price, because even though Fab is paying for this asset, Fab is the owner of this asset, but RDI is keeping this asset for 1 year and RDI is getting the dividend during that year. So whatever dividend RDI will get, it will discount or it will reduce the forward price that it is going to charge from Fab by that amount, because obviously it is Fab's asset, but RDI is getting the benefit of holding that asset. So they're giving a reduction on the forward price accordingly. Just one more important point is that, let's say this transaction is happening at the beginning of 2024 and the delivery will be done at the end of 2024. So let's say this is Jan to December. And the dividend might be coming somewhere in the middle, right? It might be coming on the 1st of September or something like that. So you just have to account for the time value of money, that because the deal is going to be settled at the end of the year, RDR might be able to earn some interest on that dividend during that time. So let's say if they got a $1 dividend, it will also earn some interest during that time. Of course, it's not going to be the full 5%, right? Maybe if it's just how many months? September, October, November, December. If it's 4 months, so you can do $1 interest, a dividend multiplied by 1.05 to the power 4 over 12, because it's only going to be for 4 months. This one can also be written like 12 over 12 because it's for the full year, right? Which basically 12 over 12 is 1. So the spot price RDI is paying right now, or even if it is not paying right now, it can sell it to somebody else right now, but it is not selling it to anybody right now. They're holding this stock for Fab for a year. So they charge them the interest for the full year, right? So 100 multiplied by 1.05, because this is basically 12 over 12, 12 months. So you can just say 1, because 12 over 12 is 1. So they're going to charge them, the forward price is going to be the spot price multiplied by 1 plus R to the power of 1, because obviously this is going to be for the full year, plus the dividend that RDI is getting, and RDI is also earning some interest on it. So the dividend multiplied with 1 plus R, and here this is going to be for 4 over 12, or the way we write it is that if the total time of the contract is big T and the dividend is coming at a time which is small t, right? So if big T is 12 over 12 and small t is 4 over 12, so then what you have, if small t is January to September, would be January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So that is 8 months, August, September. So up till the end of August, right? So that's 8 months. So this comes to 4 over 12, which is big T minus small t. If big T is 12 over 12, small t is till the end of August, which is 8 months. So 8 over 12. So this is how you would calculate the forward price for Tesla stock, depending on, let's say, if it's $100 right now, multiplied with 1.05, because interest rate is 5%, so 1.05 to the power of 1, because it's for the full year, plus let's say there is a dividend coming of $1, and it will be $1 multiplied with, again, 1.05, and big T minus small t, which is going to be 4 over 12. So this is how you would calculate the forward price of a financial forward contract.